I've lived through many seasons in my 94 years, more than I can count. I've seen wars begin and end, watched entire generations rise and fall, walked through times of scarcity and times of abundance. I've buried loved ones, celebrated new births, felt both the weight of loneliness and the joy of companionship. Life has tested me with storms, but it has also given me countless mornings like this one, mornings filled with light, stillness, and the choice to live well. Over the decades, I've seen many of my friends and neighbors struggle. I've watched people my age, and even younger, become dependent on long lists of pills, on walking aids, or on constant visits to doctors. Some gave up their independence far too soon. But I made a promise to myself a long time ago. When I grow old, I will not just grow older, I will grow well. I decided I wanted to stay strong in body, clear in mind, and independent in spirit for as long as God allows me breath. That's not to say I haven't had aches, losses, or difficult days. Of course I have. At 94, no one escapes those things. But what has carried me through isn't luck, and it isn't perfect genes. It's something far simpler and yet far more powerful, the habits I chose, especially in the morning. Each day I wake up with gratitude and with energy. I still live in my own home. I still cook my own meals. I make my own decisions. And remarkably, I do all this without relying on a single prescription pill. Not one. People often ask me, "What's your secret? How do you manage to keep going like this?" And the truth is, there's no miracle cure, no expensive program, and no magic involved. It's the little things I've done day after day, year after year, that have made the difference. In this video, I want to open my life to you. I'll walk you through the 5 morning habits that I believe have been the foundation of my health, my independence, and my peace of mind. These are simple things. So simple that you might overlook them. But each one carries wisdom gathered over a lifetime, and each one can be adapted to your life starting today. Whether you're in your 50s, 70s, or already in your 90s like me, these practices can help you feel stronger, calmer, and more in control of your own life. And here's the most important part. You don't need money or special equipment or youth to benefit from them. What you need is consistency, intention, and a willingness to treat your mornings as sacred. So let's begin together. I'll share not just what I do, but why it works, the lessons behind it, and how you can make these habits your own. By the time we finish, you'll see that living well into your 90s isn't about luck or privilege. It's about choices. Small, steady choices. Let's start with the very first one. The habit that sets the tone for every single day I live. Before I even think about breakfast or coffee, I begin my day with gentle movement. Not a vigorous workout, that's not my goal at 94. My aim isn't to prove anything, break a record, or work up a sweat. What I'm doing is something far simpler, and yet far more powerful. I am reminding my body and mind that we are alive. I'm telling myself, this day is worth waking up for. For many years I didn't take this seriously. I'd wake up and move straight from bed to chair, thinking nothing of it. Over time I noticed the stiffness creeping in. Knees that didn't want to bend, a back that felt heavy, hands that didn't quite grip the way they used to. Then I watched it happen to my dear friend Walter. He was only 81 when he began to dread mornings. He would wake up groaning, reach for pain relievers, and slump into his chair. His body felt older than his years. But when he began practicing a few minutes of stretching each morning, something shifted. Within weeks, his stiffness faded, his mood lifted, and he began moving with more ease. He told me, "It's like oiling a rusty door hinge, suddenly it opens smoothly again." That stuck with me. And from that day, I made it my mission. No matter how tired, no matter how rushed, I would give my body the gift of gentle movement every morning. Why it matters? This simple ritual does 3 powerful things. First, it sends a signal to my body and brain. Wake up, we're alive, let's begin. It's like flipping a light switch in every cell. The fog lifts and suddenly I feel ready for the day ahead. Second, it helps flush out stiffness, supports mobility, and reduces the risk of falls or strains, one of the biggest dangers for people my age. I don't take that lightly. At 94, one bad fall can change everything. Stretching keeps my muscles awake and my balance steady. And third, it grounds me. I feel present, connected to this body that has carried me through nearly a century. Even with its wrinkles, its scars, its slower pace, I honor it. Gentle movement reminds me, I still have agency. I still choose how I begin my day. How I do it step by step. Voiceover with B-roll of slow, graceful movements. Hands, feet, shoulders, breathing sunlight on skin. Here's what it looks like. I wake, sit upright at the edge of my bed, and take 3 deep, steady breaths. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth slowly. I roll my shoulders back and forth, loosening the tightness that settled in overnight. I circle each ankle, flexing and pointing my toes. Those small movements keep the circulation flowing all the way down. I tilt my head gently from side to side, forward and back, always with awareness, never rushing. I pause, I notice where there's tightness. Sometimes it's in my lower back, sometimes in my neck. I breathe into that space. On good mornings, I add a gentle spinal twist or a cat and cow stretch. But if I don't feel strong enough, I simply skip it. There's no pressure here. Just presence. Some people think, oh, stretching is too simple to matter. But here's the truth. Simplicity is the secret. Most people search for complicated solutions, the latest supplements, expensive programs, machines, or routines. But it's often the smallest daily choices that shape the biggest outcomes. Gentle morning movement is not about youth or fitness or performance. It's about respect. Respect for the body you live in, no matter its age. Over the years, this quiet beginning has made the difference between a sluggish, achy morning and one filled with clarity and calm. It has given me confidence to step into my day without fear of stiffness or sudden pain. And perhaps most importantly, it's given me dignity. I may live alone, but in those first 5 minutes I feel accompanied by my breath, by my body, by my Creator. If you're listening right now, I invite you to try this tomorrow morning. Don't set out to perform. Don't overthink it. Just sit, breathe, move gently, and honor your body. Even 5 minutes can transform how you feel. And if you're younger, don't wait until you're 80 or 90 to start. Build this habit now, and it will carry you forward with strength and stability through every season of life. After breakfast, and before the noise of the day has a chance to knock on my door, I give myself something precious. A few minutes of gratitude and reflection. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not talking about a long, complicated ritual, or something only monks and mystics can do. This is simple. It is quiet. It is deeply human. I sit in my chair, or sometimes I stay right at the kitchen table. I close my eyes. I breathe slowly. And I name 3 things I'm grateful for. Some days those things are grand, like the fact that I'm still able to live in my own home, to dress myself, to walk without help. But most days they are very small. The way the sun peeked through my curtains this morning. The sound of a bird that has been visiting my garden for years. The taste of my tea, warm and comforting. This practice does something extraordinary. It shifts your mind from lack to abundance. It opens your heart, softening the grip of fear or bitterness. It builds resilience. In the hardest of times, illness, loneliness, grief, you already have a reservoir of gratitude stored up. You can drink from it, and it sustains you. I remember during the winter of my 89th year, when my knees gave me so much pain, I couldn't even walk to the mailbox. I felt frustration boiling inside me. But one morning I sat quietly, closed my eyes, and I said to myself, I am grateful for the strength in my arms. I am grateful for the neighbor who checks on me. I am grateful for the warm blanket covering my legs. It didn't erase my pain, but it gave me perspective. And that made all the difference. Find a quiet seat where you won't be disturbed. Place your hands gently on your lap. Close your eyes. Take 3 slow breaths. Silently think of 3 things you are grateful for. Speak them softly, or whisper them if you like. If writing helps you, jot them down in a small notebook. Over time, you'll have a gratitude journal that reflects the beauty of your days. Carry those 3 thoughts with you like little lanterns, lighting the path of your day. Sunlight filtering into a quiet room. Close-up of hands resting in the lap. A journal page with a few words scribbled like warm tea or birdsong. Soft, serene lighting, a calm smile forming. Next comes something very basic, yet often overlooked. Hydration. After my gratitude practice, I reach for a glass of water. Not ice cold, not rushed, just room temperature. I sip slowly. I let the water wake me from the inside. You see, when you sleep, your body has gone hours without fluid. Every cell is thirsty. That first glass doesn't just quench, it cleanses. It helps flush out the waste your body worked so hard to filter overnight. Science confirms this. Morning hydration can improve energy, lift your mood, sharpen your mind, and even support digestion. A glass of water, such a small act, has ripple effects across your entire body. But I don't stop there. I pair hydration with a second wave of movement. This isn't a workout. It's continuity, a continuation of the stretching I began when I first woke. Sometimes I simply walk across my living room. Sometimes I take 5 steps down the hallway, then back again. Sometimes I stand and stretch, arms reaching gently overhead, as if greeting the day. Why do I do this? Because hydration nourishes your cells, but movement makes sure that nourishment circulates. Together they create momentum, gently waking every system. Circulation, digestion, balance, even mood. Think of it this way. Water is like the oil in your engine, movement is like turning the key. One without the other is incomplete. Open book optional anecdote. My old friend Sarah, who lived to 96, used to say, "The first glass of water is God's gift. The first walk is my thank you." She swore that those 2 things together kept her joints flexible and her mind sharp. And seeing how long she lived, I believe her. Person in lotus position, how to do it, mini tutorial. Keep a glass of water by your bedside or in the kitchen. Sip slowly, don't gulp. Pause between sips, breathe deeply. After drinking, rise gently to your feet. Walk a few steps indoors, to the window, the hallway, or just around your room. Stretch lightly. Raise your arms, roll your shoulders, stand tall. Let the combination of water and movement set the rhythm of your day. After gratitude, after centering my spirit, I turn to the simplest medicine of all, water. I drink a glass of water, room temperature, never in a rush. I let it move through me slowly, as though it is not just liquid but nourishment, waking up my cells one by one. Most people don't realize this, but when you wake up, you've been fasting for 7, 8, sometimes 10 hours. Your body has been working through the night, repairing, filtering, restoring. And now the very first thing it asks for is hydration. That glass of water does something powerful. It flushes out the waste my body has been working to clear overnight. It rehydrates my brain, which is nearly 75% water. And it tells my digestion, my circulation, my metabolism, wake up. Begin the day. Science backs this. Studies show that even mild dehydration, just 1 to 2% of body weight, can lead to fatigue, foggy thinking, and low mood. But the opposite is also true. That simple glass of water in the morning has been shown to improve mental sharpness, lift energy, and help regulate blood pressure. It's one of the cheapest, easiest medicines you'll ever find. But I don't stop there. I combine hydration with movement. Think of it as a second wave of waking up. Sometimes it's a gentle walk around my living room. Sometimes a slow stroll down the hallway to look out the window. Other times I simply stand up, stretch my arms above my head, roll my shoulders, or tilt gently from side to side. These movements are not about burning calories or building muscles. They are about circulation, balance, and reminding my body you are alive. You can move. Movement reinforces the benefits of hydration. The water I've just sipped begins to circulate more quickly. My joints loosen. My posture resets. Even a 2-minute walk or a gentle stretch can dramatically improve blood flow, lower stiffness, and reduce the risk of morning falls, which is critical as we grow older. And there's a deeper layer too. This small ritual water plus movement is like saying to myself, I am choosing life today. Instead of rushing to the coffee pot or grabbing a pill bottle, I start with what nature provides and what my body remembers. I remember my dear friend Samuel, who lived to 92. 4 years, he began every morning with what he called his 2 gifts. First, a glass of water, which he would lift like a toast, saying, "Thank you for another day." Second, a short walk to the end of his driveway and back. He told me once, "The water keeps me alive, the walk reminds me I still am." And you know what? He kept his independence right until the very end. Prepare the night before. Keep a glass or bottle of water by your bedside or in the bathroom. That way, it's ready before excuses can creep in. Drink slowly. Sit or stand calmly. Take a sip. Pause. Breathe. Let each mouthful refresh you instead of rushing it. Move immediately after. Stand tall. Take a few slow steps around your home. Walk to the window and open the curtains. Circle your arms gently, roll your ankles, or lift your hands overhead as if greeting the sun. Blend the two. Let each sip of water be followed by a breath and a small movement. This makes hydration and circulation one seamless ritual. Keep it simple. You don't need equipment. You don't need space. Just your glass of water, your breath, and a few steps. After I've moved my body, hydrated, and reflected in gratitude, I pause for one last step before the day truly begins. This step may not look like much to an outsider, but I believe it's the most powerful of all. I set my intention. Not a long to-do list. Not a stressful schedule. Just a guiding principle, a compass for the hours ahead. It could be as simple as, today I will move with patience. I will notice beauty in small things. I will be kind to myself. Or sometimes, I will focus on peace no matter what comes. This is not about controlling life. I've lived long enough to know life will bring both joy and challenges. But what I can control is my response. And an intention is like a lens. It doesn't change the world around me, but it changes the way I see it, and that changes everything. Why this matters? Many people wake up and immediately hand their attention over to noise. The phone, the television, worries of the day. And what happens? The tone of their morning is hijacked before they've even had a chance to breathe. But science shows us that mornings shape the brain's rhythms. Hormones like cortisol and serotonin are highly influenced by what we focus on when we wake. Starting inward with calm, with purpose, with a clear direction, lowers stress, improves clarity, and helps regulate sleep and mood cycles for the rest of the day. The American Heart Association has written about the power of tiny daily intentions, that even one mindful phrase or breath can reduce anxiety and improve resilience. And wellness experts agree. Building this as a morning ritual doesn't just change your day, it reshapes your habits, your health, even your longevity. When I was younger, I thought intentions were for dreamers. But now at 94, I see them as armor. Not to fight battles with the world, but to protect my peace, my spirit, my independence. I remember my friend Mary, who always used to complain that her days felt chaotic. She was constantly busy but rarely fulfilled. One morning I suggested she try starting her day with just one word. The next time I saw her, she told me her word had been patience. And she said, "You know, it changed the way I drove to the store, the way I spoke to my son, even the way I cooked dinner." She wasn't less busy, but she was less restless. That's the quiet power of intention. It's like giving your heart a North Star to follow, even when the road twists and turns. How to apply it step by step. After hydration and movement, pause. Don't rush. Find a quiet moment where you can breathe. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, what do I need most today? Energy, patience, gratitude, kindness. Name it. Whisper it aloud or say it silently in your heart. Keep it short and simple, one word or one phrase. Visualize the day. Imagine moving through your morning, your errands, your interactions, carrying that word like a small flame in your pocket. Anchor it. If you like, write the word on a piece of paper, a sticky note on your mirror, or even your phone's lock screen. Each time you see it, let it remind you of your chosen direction. This practice takes less than a minute, but over time it rewires your focus. You stop living reactively and start living with awareness. So there you have it, my 5 morning habits. Simple practices shaped over decades that have carried me to 94 years of life. Still living alone, still independent, still waking up with hope. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need to buy anything. You don't need perfect health, perfect discipline, or perfect circumstances. What you need is the willingness to begin. Each of these habits may look small on the outside. Gentle stretching at the edge of the bed, sitting by the morning sun as you sip breakfast, taking a few moments for gratitude, drinking water and moving lightly, setting an intention to guide your heart. But here's the truth I've learned. It's the small things repeated daily that build a strong, resilient life. I often think of my friends who leaned on pills, or gave up on movement, or filled their mornings with television instead of purpose. Many of them aged faster than they needed to, not because they were weak, but because no one ever told them how powerful these little habits could be. That's why I'm sharing this with you. If you try even one of these tomorrow morning, you'll notice a shift. Maybe your body feels looser. Maybe your mind feels calmer. Maybe your heart feels lighter. And if you try 2, 3, or all 5 over weeks and months, you'll begin to see that age does not have to mean decline. It can mean wisdom, energy, and freedom. Remember, I started this journey not at 94 but decades earlier, one choice at a time. And if there's one piece of encouragement I can give you, it's this. You don't have to be 94 to start. You just have to start. Now, if you found this video helpful, I'd love for you to do me a simple favor. Comment below with the words habit number 2. Just so I know you stayed with me until this point. Share this video with someone in your life who could benefit. A parent, a friend, a neighbor who needs hope. And of course, subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss more of these life wisdom videos. Your support means a lot. It allows me to keep sharing what's worked for me, so you and others can live stronger, longer, and more joyfully. Thank you for spending this time with me. May your mornings be gentle. May your days be brighter than you expect. And may you always remember, it's never too late to choose health, independence, and gratitude. I'll see you in the next video.